Hey, Pastor Tom here, and want to have a quick chat with you regarding perspective. So I'll never forget this moment when I was in second grade, and that was the moment when I received glasses for the first time. Now, I've always seen the world the way I always seen the world, which is what I thought was right, until I'm standing in the optometrist's office one day, and he tells me to look out this window and look at a sign across the street, and he says, "Tell me what that sign says." And I couldn't see it. I could see a sign, but I couldn't read it. And then he hands me my glasses, and I put these glasses on, and all of a sudden, the world came to life. It was like I could not only see the sign, I could read the sign. It was this amazing moment. I'm just looking around, and all of a sudden, I could see the world through a different lens. I saw the world through just differently than I ever have before. And it gave me a new perspective on life. When we talk spiritual things and perspective in this world, it's less about maybe the sunglasses that we wear, which make everything darker, or the glasses that we wear that make everything clearer. It's more about our heart, our thoughts, our minds, the way we view things. We talk about being gospel centered, which is that viewing the world through the lens of the gospel. That the way we process information, the way we process culture, the way we process situations, we filter that through the lens of the gospel. What's the gospel say about that? And therefore, this is how I respond to it. And I know that can be very difficult in this world because there's so much brokenness. There's so much devastation. There's so much division. There's so much struggle and fight. And we're surrounded by the brokenness of this world. And so how do we really fix our perspective on the things of the Lord? Well, I think Philippians chapter 4 is a great memory verse for you. It's, go to Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, and study that verse, read that verse. It talks about fixing your thoughts on things that are like pure, lovely, admirable, right? I mean, things that are excellent and worthy of praise, right? There's so much in that verse, and it's saying fix your thoughts on the things that are of God. Fix your thoughts on the gospel and see the world through the lens of what is worthy of praise. View the world through the lens of what is admirable and right and pure, right? So this verse really, really captures it for us on how we shift our perspective. But I know you're like me and you think, okay, that's cool for about 10 minutes. And then the world happens, right? It's this very difficult season in life where we got the world. Here's how we walk through this. How do we keep that our lens? How do we keep our perspective focused on the gospel? Well, first of all, it's a personal discipline. It's a discipline. And then when we know our heart is shifting, when we're viewing things, we're getting a little more bitter. We're getting a little more frustrated. We're getting, a little more judgmental in our hearts. That's a moment for personal discipline to really just spend some time in worship, spend some time in God's word, spend some time in prayer, and to say, God, help me. My perspective is shifting, and I need to get the gospel as my perspective. But even if that is difficult, there's another thing, which is we talk about having consistent friendships with Bible-based friends, Bible-believing friends. That's the moment when you become transparent with your close friends and you say, listen, I've just been struggling recently. I've become judgmental about this, or I'm becoming bitter. I can feel my heart become bitter about this conversation or about this situation. And I know that's not of God. I want to keep my perspective through the lens of the gospel, and I need your help. And have them pray for you and talk through it with them. And I think that's just a really powerful way to keep your perspective on the things of the Lord, to keep our perspective through the lens of the gospel. That everything we go through, every conversation, every decision, we process that through the lens of the gospel.